Welcome back, everybody. This is Wilder Action, Birds and Bees, and you know what? My dilemma that I had, it's over. I've sold my Nikon gear. Well, that was a bit clickbaity at the beginning. I didn't sell my Nikon gear, I sold a Nikon lens. I sold the 400 f4.5. Today was a very sad day for me. Saying goodbye to my beloved 400 f4.5. It was light. It was, you know, put the converter on it, takes you up to 560. Great birding lens. Good for mammals of a certain size as long as they don't get too close. I did love it. Very, very, very sharp lens. And just got me some terrific, amazing shots. Not the best low light capability, but very good at f4.5. Not quite the 2.8, but a very good lens nonetheless. But good people, we all know what I'm about. I'm more about the insects and the insects in flight, especially. Yes, I do love birds and I love small birds. I love small, fast birds, but it's more about the insects now. And on that prime, the 400, the minimum focus distance of 2.5 meters, as you saw in one of my videos, it wasn't great. It used to freak me out a little bit. It was quite hard when there was something close that you were trying to get. It just made it really quite difficult to get them. I've had some great banded demoiselles with that, some terrific shots, had some good dragonflies, but these are both like very large or medium large insects, and I want smaller or to be able to get better details with them, you know, without putting anything else on. And I was finding that I was having to put the teleconverter on to get the kind of distance I needed because it magnifies it a bit more. I think the magnification rate on the 400 was about 0.16 times, which is not the greatest. So it was still small in the frame. You put the teleconverter on, it makes it a bit better, but now you've got a little bit of degradation with the teleconverter on the image quality side, and probably, I'm not 100% sure about this because it was very fast even with the teleconverter, but it probably slowed down the autofocus just a little bit, which makes it that bit harder to then pick up the details when things are zooting about a bit quick. So, did I just sell it or did I replace it? I replaced it. But what did I replace it with? I have the 800mm PFZ for birds. So for long distances, I've got that covered. I've got the 70 to 180 that I've actually started really liking, especially for like a family orientated walk around lens that I can then kind of double it up as an insect in flight when I need to as well. Probably putting the teleconverter on there makes it a little bit easier. I've got to do more tests. Didn't really have time when we went on holiday, but it was pretty decent. And then I've got the 100, obviously, the 100mm macro. That's purely dedicated for my macro. Again, I could use that for kids when they're running around and that, but I specifically use that as a dedicated macro, really. What did I get? I'm prolonging this a bit, aren't I? I'll tell you what I got. In fact, I'll show you what I got. I got this. This is the Z 1 to 400. Let's take that off. Let's take this off. Ooh. I always have trouble with these, don't I? Whenever I go to take these off. Anyway, that's it without anything. This is going to be it, how I use it. I don't actually have these feet on at all. These feet get put in a drawer before I lose them again and they go away. And I'll either attach it here or on the back of the camera so that it actually dangles down, or here it will dangle it up. I don't know actually because I've not used this one out in the field, but once the hood's on and the zoom's out, ooh, I do like that rubber at the front. That rubber feels very nice at the front, feels very robust. Anyway, that's what we've got. It's quite compact. It's a tiny, tiny bit. I think it's about 200 grams heavier than the 4.5 prime. And to be quite honest, without this silly petal hood from the year 2000, I hate these petal hoods. They just look awful. And this doesn't feel the most robust, but we'll work with this. I don't know what we'll do with this, but we will work with this. You have the OLED display here. Nikon, what were you thinking? Who sits there and looks at lenses like this? Seriously. Unless you're an astrophotographer, and then I'm still not sure they would use it because the light would mess with your eye a little bit. I'm not sure. I should really put it on a camera, shouldn't I, so you can see what it looks like. Just give me 1 second. And I'm back in the room. Here, I've got the Z9 with the 100mm on it. So let's take that off. And let's put this on. I mean, with the Z9, obviously, it definitely makes it heavier because the Z9 is a heavy camera. But heavy in a good way, not heavy in a bad way. I know people complain about it. I actually really like it. And if I was to get rid of one of my Z cameras, it wouldn't be the Z9. I'd probably keep the Z9. Even over the Z8, to be honest. Especially for what I do when I'm out there diving around in the dirt and that. This is just one hell of a robust camera. It's just feels solid, like it's not going to break at all. 100, 400, 100, 400. That's really easy. It's a nice, stiff zoom. Some of them you feel like they're going to move. This doesn't move at all. This is like, I can turn it, leave it there. Turn it, leave it there. Turn it, leave it there. It's very easy to move and very solid. I like that. But like I said, this foot, which I love that you can take them off like this, is good for some situations, but I prefer to have that off, and I just prefer to just attach the thing there. It keeps it out of the way. My hands are then free to move around the lens. Let me see this focus. Ooh, that feels nice. I'll just set that back to the center. Yeah, that feels very, very nice indeed. Focus feels nice and tight, nice and quick. Not as quick probably as the 400, but certainly quick enough. I use a very slow focusing, not this one, a very slow focusing macro lens that was much slower than this, and I can still get insects in flight. It's not always about the focus speed, it's more about your focus accuracy. I like this. I really, really do like this, apart from, let me tell you the things I don't like about it already. I already said this hood is a bit tinny. For an S lens, that should have been better quality. Sorry, Nikon. Yeah, I love your gear, but that should have been a better lens hood. And the other thing, this is one of the things I do not like about external zooms. Weatherproofing. When I was like really only shooting birds, I'd go out in the rain with my gear and I didn't care how much it was raining, because that's mostly because I had primes. I would normally have a pure weatherproof body as well. I don't know, we'll see. This looks quite decent actually. I think the weather sealing's supposed to be good on this. Even though I'm not a fan of this hood, it's not going to bother me. I don't care about cosmetics. It's as long as that stays on and it doesn't get in the way, then I'm quite happy that it looks a bit noddy. I'll probably just maybe see if I can put a cover over it. It might even cover all of this anyway. And then the zoom thing, that shouldn't bother me too much. I mean, it's not, actually that does need a couple of turns. If I'm like that, then it's okay. I'm literally turning my hand. But if I'm doing that, then it needs a couple of turns. I mean, like I say, I don't really use zooms anyway, so this is probably going to stay at 400 unless I get into a situation where I really need to move it. But most of the time, that will be staying at 400. Yeah, the function buttons, L1, L2. I actually prefer that than it being over here. I know, I saw online somebody complained about where the function buttons were. And actually, I think I prefer that, because they're both at hand on the left side there, and you can just move them. You just move your hand to each one. You know which one you're at. When it was here, I don't know why, my hands used to get in a little bit of a muddle. Maybe it was just me. Maybe I'm just not good at certain things, but that seems a lot easier to me, because I will be sorting one of these out for focus recall, and one of them will be focus memory. You get your auto manual switch there, your full, and then you've got your 3 meters to infinity. This is, like I said, it's got the very good minimum focus distance of 0.98 with a magnification of 0.38. So you're approaching half macro size here. So hopefully, what have I got here? I've got a Viltrox macro ring here. I've got 2. I don't know where I've put the other one. Hopefully I haven't lost it. It seems to have gone walkabout. It's a smaller one than this. So I can maximize the magnification. I can probably get up to near macro size at 400 millimeters with this. It's just got to be sharp enough. So I'm going to have to work out the sharpness levels on this lens to make sure, because there's no point, it's all well and good having a lens that can take these pictures, but if they're not sharp, there's just no point. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to use it in conjunction with that and also the teleconverter as well. But we'll see how much light we've got and what are the best apertures when I actually start using it. Like I say, I do prefer it without this, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use it because that focus ring looks like it's could not be in the way, but it looks like it could be quite, as I'm using, I don't know, holding my hand here, it doesn't feel too bad. Because it's not a heavy lens, not a heavy lens at all. I mean, I might even use it like that. Or me being me, experiment with something with this. Because I just don't, all I need a hood for is to protect the lens from me, yeah? Yes, you get a bit of stray light, but I normally shoot with the sun to my back anyway, so I'm not too worried about stray light. A lot of people complain with the S-line lenses now that they don't have a gold ring. Oh God, I really don't care about that kind of stuff. Sorry to anyone that likes that, but who cares? Like when people go on about the Canon whites, I'm like, why do I want somebody to know that I've got a really expensive lens in my hand? I don't want people to know that. I don't want to be approached. Well, I don't mind being approached, but I don't want to be approached by somebody that might want to rob me for my expensive lens. Yeah, I think that's just me with my gear. It wasn't the lens, don't worry. It was just the body. It was just the Z9. I feel it looks more compact than the Prime. Obviously not when it's out, but when it's in, it actually looks more compact. Maybe it is. I'll have to look at the sizes. Anyway, who's sexier? The Z9, the 400, or me? Definitely not me at the moment. I need a haircut. Anyway, I'm gonna shave. So this is the 400. I don't know if I've already said this because I ran out of power, and yeah, when I've got it like that, would I turn it like that? I don't know, but I would normally keep it out of 400 anyway. So that's not a bother to me at all. It's just now whether the lens is fast enough and sharp enough. That's going to be my main concerns with it, because if it's not fast enough, then we definitely go back to the drawing board. And if it's not sharp enough, both of them are probably just equally as important. It doesn't have to be super fast to focus, but it needs to be accurate. So once I get my subject in it, because I can get my subject, I don't need the lens to do that for me. I can be getting it in focus and then let the lens take over. But once it's taken over, it needs to be accurate. So we'll see. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks, people.